Alrighty, this video is going to be kind of a continuation of the last building video I did. The last video I did was mostly focused on the initial build, general flag placement, collecting resources, and how to prepare and move forward once you get to advance into the block. This video now is going to focus on what do you do for downtown, and this is my first time building. I was not the builder on server 5, so I found out some things along the way. For one thing, I thought you could build a headquarters in downtown, which is this dark green area. That is not the case. So I did end up moving our headquarters, but only ever so slightly. I was planning on having it be like here-ish. This is our trap. I like to have the headquarters close by the trap, but not directly next to it. The reason why I like to have my headquarters close to the monkey trap, but not directly next to it, is because of the shelter teleport. A lot of people will use these because they're inexpensive, and if you want to have your high-level players at the trap, you don't want the noobs using that teleport landing in the holes that are left here when those players are out. So like on Citadel Day, a lot of people went out. One thing you can do is go to the buildings, special buildings, and this protection spirit has been really helpful. You can demolish it and then build it in a place to hold a town. You can also click somewhere on the ground and click occupy, and I will take all my heroes out and I'll only put one troop, and you can even put a low level troop so that if you leave that there, anybody can attack that. You can attack it with an alt that's not in the alliance and it'll move. And until you attack it or until that player removes it themselves, nobody can take that spot. So somebody that's still at the base can do that to help you keep your monkey trap in order. But in the meantime, if you use that alliance teleport, that's where our thing is, and they could be anywhere around that. They're going to end up like here. So definitely still close enough to join rallies, definitely close enough for the monkey trap, all that kind of stuff. You do still need to worry about the alliance leader teleport. Those are going to drop people near the trap most likely, because your R5 is most likely going to be by the trap. So you do still want to tell people, use an advanced teleport to get to where you need to go, or use the headquarters teleport if you want to use something cheap, or wait until your higher level players are in position before you teleport back to base. So those are different things you can say. But because I thought we could build our headquarters in downtown, I basically just put it right on the edge of block in downtown. And if I had known that in advance, I would have went ahead and put my headquarters there. Our headquarters was initially here. I ended up adding that flag later because we were really short on food. So you can see some of the bases still behind inactive players. When you move your headquarters, your flags are inactivated. So that's why it's nice, if you can, go ahead and drop your headquarters where you want it end game, and then build from there. So this is one of my alliances. I am building up so that nobody can teleport in directly next to us. So if you see how when I click here to teleport, it's red, which means you cannot go there. So even though it looks like a big hole, because that mountain is there, you cannot. The other thing is these paths are also only enough for half of a shelter. So if an enemy wanted to teleport in, they cannot place on any of those paths. So this is my server 5 alliance. Love them. The candy shop, if you're looking for a super chill place to hang out, really nice people. Rabid built this base and it's gorgeous. Again, mountain, so nobody can go in there. So when people want to attack us, this is our main base. These are all kind of offline people. They go here, like all the way over here. And it takes them like 45 seconds to get a rally. I mean, not even a rally. It takes 45 seconds for an attack to hit. And a lot of times they'll even try to speed it And because of the distance of how far they have to travel, it's really easy to reinforce. So when I see somebody attacking my bases here, my main is there, this guy was under attack. So I teleported my alt next to the guy to reinforce. My main I teleported over here to combat and attack the person that was attacking our troops. So that is just like a way that you can set up your base, even if you don't have a server where there's a lot of PvP, or even if you have a NAP policy and you're protected by NAP. This just prevents you from the crazed person that's just going to go set fire to your whole base. It just buys you that few extra seconds that really matter. So everybody pretty much, when the block opens, builds to the center like it's this big thing. Like you have to be there. But there's no point. You don't need to. There's no point. We built this, I think, because we were thinking we might move our base there, but we didn't need to. You can see there's level 7 and 8 resources, but there's also plenty of level 7 and 8 resources here. And again, you see that dark area. This is downtown. That's block. So even in the block, you see the 7s, but the resources are fine. If you go around the map and look at the edge, nobody actually has their troops there. That alliance does, but they are really terrible. But see, everybody builds to the center like it's this big thing, it's this big rush. They did that on my other server too, but there's really no point. And I actually think not only is there no point to building to the center, it's actually to your detriment. So this red is an alliance that my alt is in. I am an R4, R5 in both of the alliances I'm in, so I'm doing the flag builds and the base builds for both right now. So again, this is me basically trying to do exactly what we did on server 5. Small holes so that you can't fit any fountains. Like if I wanted to come attack them, I cannot. It will not let me teleport in. You can see it's red. Since I'm not in this alliance, I cannot teleport in. So if I wanted to attack this alliance, I would end up going like somewhere over here. And if you look at where they are, I mean, that's still not as far away as my other alliance. I still have like 30 some flags to place, but it still is enough to buy you that time that you need to reinforce your friends. The main reason why I did not specifically want to move this alliance is that we are fighting over all of our labs. So the tan team and us are transferring these labs back and forth. So they actually got those two. We still have this one. We still have that one. So because we knew we were going to be tossing the labs back and forth and we wanted to get to them quickly, we specifically did not want to move so that we could respond to those labs better and quicker. The other team is stronger than us. They're number 3 and my red color here is number 7 or 8 right now. When you are building in the baby area, it is food, water, and wood, and it's fairly spread out. You can see it's pretty, you know, like you can get one every couple of flags. You're definitely not getting one every flag. Once you move into the block, it opens up plastic, but it's still plastic mixed in with a decent amount of food, water, and wood. Once you go into the center, you can see it's very wood plastic heavy. So I deleted a lot of flags to build up my base, even though I was meticulously careful to make sure that our resource generation was like right even the whole time so that we wouldn't have too much of one thing and not enough of another thing. I wanted to demolish a bunch of flags to drop the cost of building flags lower. The only thing I would have done differently, I'm totally happy with that. I got rid of a lot of flags in this area that we didn't need because that connected to one headquarters. There was a ton of flags through there that we didn't need. And I can still get rid of a lot of these flags. The only thing I wish I had done is not deleted as many of the flags that were specifically there for food and water nodes until later on. Absolutely would have demolished all of my flags that were specifically just getting wood or plastic without connecting or being a crucial part of anything else, but not the food and water until later on because there's so little food and water here. So with that in mind, it is actually officially day 45, which means that the resource exchange has opened up, which is very exciting. So we used to have obsessively compulsively even amounts of resources and resource generation, but right now we have an obscene amount of plastic and a lot of wood because, again, our base is in an area that is very wood plastic heavy. It's not a big deal now because most of our technology is finished. Our whole development tree is mostly finished. Our whole territory tree is mostly finished, and then our combat tree is mostly finished, and we already have this unlocked. So you always want to make sure you have something to donate to because people lose their mind if they can't donate to research. And ideally you want it to be a good research, but the fact that we opened up that everlasting magnificence did take some of the stress off of me, that if people were just stressing about getting their dailies done, we had something that they could donate to. If I needed to build flags, like I was trying to pick up some extra food nodes because I deleted too many. That was really bad of me. I'm planning on doing the same thing with this that I did with these guys. The reason why this base is so much bigger is because the donations on their resources for the team that's in the red is much lower. So it takes us a lot longer to finish resources. So we had pretty much everything already researched going into downtown. So we still haven't had to research anything, and we still have a bunch open ready to have donations for, versus here we had maybe 4 or 5 things ready to research before we went. We tried to have as many as possible, but they got finished very quickly, sometimes like 2 or 3 a day, just because we have a very active large alliance, which is awesome, but it just means that you're going to be ending up building slower, even with really, really high resource generation, which we had. So at this point, as I get food and water, I'm going to keep building up the base. At a certain point, I am going to start deleting extra flags that are specifically just for resource generation, because once you have all your research done and most of your flags built, resource generation doesn't mean anything. So all of those flags will just go towards making our base ridiculously massive, because we do have all of our labs unlocked. So I didn't even end up needing to move our old headquarters, and I might still, because I'm a little OCD, I might still redo flags so that we can make our base bigger, but I think our base is going to be like insanely large, so I'm not too concerned. But there's a few extra flags, could have had more direct approaches to some of these, but I had already gone through, and you can see deleted, or sorry, I keep saying deleted, it's demolished, all the extra flags we had off to the side for extra food and water collection. So that's the only thing I would have done differently. So another thing to keep in mind is your flags need to be connected to a headquarters. Your headquarters do not both need to be attached to each other. So this is our initial headquarters, and there is a big gap, and it is not connected to our block headquarters. You can place that anywhere within the block. You cannot place that in downtown, and you can build flags directly off of that. One of the other reasons why I like keeping our base where it is because we actually rally that stronghold from base. You can send your rally leader there and have everybody else join straight from base. We also have assigned citadels, so our citadels are 12, which is that one, and 1, which is that one, which was right next to where our base used to be. We actually used to be able to rally both of those from our old base. You can still join from the new base, you just need to now use a speed up. So it's a nice setup with how we have things divided on our server. Nobody hacks my blue team because we're significantly stronger than everybody else, but we are also close to our labs in the off chance that somebody did send, one of the lords sent a troop to that lab, so we sent a rally over there. Actually, we didn't even send a rally, we only sent one person to take them out and reclaim our lab. So things to keep in mind. Oftentimes flag blocking is considered, faux pas or an act of war, but we don't really have specific rules about that, so I am kind of building to this corner, so that if I build that straight line here, they won't be able to connect out like to there. They won't be able to go this way. The tan team is trouble, so we're just trying to avoid issues. I have that there. Mostly I wanted to get the water, but it's also on the way there in case we need to go ahead and cut them off if they're being annoying, which is very likely. So with this strategy, I'll show you how I would place flags if I'm filling in. I'm not actually going to do it. You just want to leave that half space. So that is enough for half of a town. You can connect it to either one. The other thing is when you come over here, this half space is good. So then if I place this one, if this was here up to that blue, I could skip the blue and then go there. I could go here, go here. I wouldn't, for example, want to place here because if you look up there, then that's 2 spaces. So that's enough for a fountain to fit in between there. So you always just want to make sure that it's only a half space or 1 space so that a fountain can't fit in there. Fountain can fit, fountain can't fit. So like if I was going to build here, you've got a couple of options. There's wood. So you do still want to go ahead and collect the resources, even though you won't need them eventually. So I could either place this here because we want the resource node. If I was building the flag, this is a logical spot, or that, keeping that space. But obviously I wouldn't want to do that because then I want to get the wood node. So this flag would most definitely go there. And then my next flag could go attached to that one. I could go ahead and build it if I wanted to attach it there. But if you want to build as big of a base as possible, I would go ahead and wait and just attach it to that. Showing how I would keep building on here. This is a half size, so I can't go to there because then a fountain could fit there. So that works, and this works is actually what I would do. After that flag is done, I would place it there. So that just kind of shows you how I would build upon what's already there. You can build here. And then the next one is just like straight down. So it keeps that same gap all the way through. And the goal is just to give you as much protection as possible. So some of it is I'm looking for specific resources. That one I wanted to place because it's wood. So we went ahead and grabbed the wood node. But these, if I wanted to specifically, like if I knew we were going to be under attack, that would be where I would build first to give myself extra buffer. And again, we could do like this. Like if an attack was imminent, I could drop that flag, this flag, all the way down and have 3 or 4 flags ready to be built, or attach to here with this gap and have that gap all the way down. So option. Because flags have already been placed, you're gonna have areas where you're gonna feel like it's wasting a flag. You're gonna have some overlap. It is what it is. It's fine. Knowing that, you know, you might want to take the gap there because you're gonna fill that whole area. Something to think about. So this is really cool. I mentioned, so resource exchange. We have a lot of extra plastic. We don't have enough food, but you can only do a certain amount per day. So if you notice up here, there's that timer. That tells us when we can do a swap again. So tomorrow, once it's available, I'll swap the plastic for some more food. Again, we have a very uneven distribution of resources. It's not a problem because of our current build and research situation. Before, like I said, obsessively compulsively even on all of the resources so that it made building and research perfect. So this is how you get to be eventually. Like you have your base built, you have all your research done, and you just have full resources, which is, you know, my blue flags that I showed you on the other server is close to that, where our research is pretty far along and most of our flags are placed and our base is pretty big, and we can pretty much place those other flags just here and there every now and then. It's not a huge rush. It's not a huge deal. So that's why it's not super important that our resources are generating equally, and it's not stressful that we're generating extra plastic, because that's where our base is and it is what it is. So anyway, you could be the people that build to the center and you're like, oh, look at us, we're awesome, we built to the center. Or you could be cool, calm, and collected and not build to the center. See? Do you see the confidence in just building a massive, massive base like that and not even building into downtown? We literally haven't even researched build into downtown on this account. I might want to eventually, because we might want to build like here. But we don't need to. We have everything we need. We're connected to all of our labs. So we're connected to all our big labs over here. We're connected to all of our little labs over here. And thankfully, we still have some of our level 1 and 2 labs because we are tossing our bigger labs back and forth. I haven't given those up. Our server is also super dead, so there would really be no point in giving it to some of the people that are touching it, because I don't even think these guys play. I've never even seen anybody with that tag. On this alliance, I did do the same thing I did on the other lines. I went ahead and demolished all of the extra flags that were just collecting resources, except for, oh yeah, I know that one too, because that one's collecting a lab. Yeah, I couldn't get rid of that one. I demolished everything that wasn't directly touching a lab. And I would have kept more food or wood. This alliance is short on wood. Oh, because we didn't build to the center, that's right. So we're over here. So there's still a lot of plastic, but it's not the insane amount of plastic that's over there. So this alliance actually has been shortest on wood. So when I've been building the base out, I grabbed the wood nodes as much as I could. But again, all of our research is unlocked and ready to be donated to. We have a massive base and probably like 30 flags to build. So resources is not a huge problem. Since we were short on wood, I did go ahead and donate. I did go ahead and do the resource exchange for wood, and I will do that every 24 hours. I would also just be really big on communicating. So like for one thing, I said we were going to take this lab, and we were specifically going to build to it and have teleported over here on the day we were going to take that lab. And somebody did 2 researches that night while I was sleeping, even though I said, don't do any researches. We have plenty of things researched. So we didn't end up being able to build to that lab that day because that person ran research. So just, if you have that communication, make sure you watch for stuff like that, because it can mess up plans. It's not a big deal. We're going to get the lab in like 3 days. But it was a little frustrating because somebody had teleported over there, built flags, and wasn't able to finish building, and actually was stuck over there much longer because of that person running research. One other thing I'll mention kind of goes with building is with the labs. So these are all the labs we have. These ones can be attacked. These ones cannot be attacked if they say protected. They are also in order. So this one is soon to be unprotected. Sooner. Those are, good for a bit. You also have these. So this one just came up, and we're going to go ahead and take that one back. Yeah. Once we have enough on, we'll go ahead and take that back. The cool thing for the attackers is that we literally can attack anytime within a 24-hour period. The unfortunate thing is that they can also do the same thing once we have it. So when we're asleep, they can take it back, which is what happened with this one. If you have an alliance that has people on all the time, which God does, my other alliance, it's very helpful. But if your lab is under attack, it will pop up something up here that has the little green arrow thingies. And when you see those little green arrow thingies, you can click it. It'll take you right to the lab. You can click on the lab. You can say rally, attack. Oh, or scout. I'll also mention there's a scout. I'm used to playing on a level 30 stellar account, and I totally just sent my level 24 fountain march to a lab that had like 6 people in it and way more troops than I could have taken on. So yeah, do scout them. That is important. So another thing about labs, I like to label them. So you want to be on top of those labs. What will happen is if those are under attack, it will pop up a little notification at the top of your screen up here with the little green arrows. And you click on those green arrows, it will take you to the lab that is under attack. I teach all of my players in both of my alliances that if they ever see that a lab is under attack, what they want to do is open up a rally. Whoever the largest player is online opens up a rally to send it to that building. With the one alliance is very strong, so we open up the rally, as many people are on, join, we send it regardless, no stipulations. With my other one, they know that our enemy is stronger than us and we have to be a little bit more strategic. So largest person online opens up a rally if there are enough people online ready that can join, and if not, sometimes we'll call for help. And if not, sometimes we just let them take it because it just depends on how many they send. A lot of times when people are trying to take these labs, it's one person that doesn't know what they're doing. So it's easy to just set up a rally, send it. So scout, see what's there. If it's that one lord or, level 15 fountain that sent a couple troops, go ahead and send that rally, hit them, hang out for a little bit. Hopefully they'll go away. If they do send a big attack, which is the other option, they rally and they send a full march, that's when you have to be a little bit more careful. Make sure you scout, make sure you have enough power on to take it back. You do take losses at labs. So if you attack a lab that has a bunch of people in it, it's going to hurt. You also take losses at flags. So this was a flag that we were fighting over. People blocked us, and so we took out their flag, and they took some hits. Since it was here, I'll go ahead and show you this. This was fun. So I didn't take losses here. I felt like... I feel like I did at some point. I don't know. So this alliance is weaker than us, and I just didn't even think about it. So I just sent my march, and they actually had a full garrison. You can notice it was not even remotely close. You look at battle details, it was just little me with my 93,000, almost 94,000 march against a 91,000 march, an 88,000 march, an 80,000 march, 81. Yeah, that was bad. I should have scouted. So, sorry, a little rambly, but that should be all the things you need to know about building into downtown. The big thing is you cannot build a headquarters into downtown. You really do not need to build all the way to the center, even though people will, have fun. Something to keep in mind is if you put your base all the way up against that part, they built as far as they can build, but you can still teleport anywhere in the brown. I can't teleport into their area, but if they put their base there, I can teleport right next to it. So even though they can't build any further, you could place your fountain within inches of their base if they decided to build their base right up against the brown part, which I have seen people do. I don't recommend it. Presumably people do that so that they can send troops directly to Central Plaza, but no. By the time Central Plaza opens up, you teleport to Central Plaza. Like, you teleport here. You're not sending your marches from over here. Nobody's sending marches from over there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people send their marches from over there, but that's not normal. One other thing I wanted to point out is that situation where we wanted to build to that lab, and I logged on to see that we did not have very many resources, so obviously somebody had used them. When you click on Alliance Territory, check warehouses, it shows you the name of the person and what they did. So Alliance flag. So I don't want to scroll down because I don't want to embarrass the person, but it had, of course, their picture and then research and then another one actually. So to that day that I had said, please don't run any research. Again, it's fine, but that's just how you know.